Myers coming in with one district loss against Barron Collier that's unbeaten, a must game for both schools.
Well, this is a rivalry that goes way, way back. These teams have played for district championships year in and year out for a long, long time, so this is nothing new for both teams.
With North Fort Myers, a 22-15 winner over Cape Coral last week. They are now in the driver's seat. Barron Collier must win tonight to keep pace. Fort Myers, with one district loss, cannot afford to lose.
This is definitely a do-or-die game for Fort Myers. To have any chance at all to stay in the district race, they have to win tonight, and then they have the unenviable task of playing Cape Coral next week. Barron, if they win tonight, it'll all come down to the game next week.
And that's against North Fort Myers, and we'll have it for you right here on Colony Channel 10 Sports. We'll come right back, David, with Dave Tanner, as the MetLife pregame show continues here on Colony Channel 10 Sports.
How many personal flotation devices are you required to have aboard your boat? Did you know you should have one for everyone on board? Do you have a number of fire extinguishers required? Do you have a first aid kit? What about navigation lights? Is a radio required? For a free courtesy marine examination, contact the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. We make house calls.
Hi, I'm John Scanlon. At Fort Myers Lincoln Mercury, we still have hundreds of new 94 Lincolns and Mercurys available for our end-of-the-year clearance sale. This means the biggest savings of the year for you. You'll save literally thousands on Mercury Sables, Cougars, Tracers, and even Mercury Villagers. No dealer add-ons, no surprises, no extra fees. The largest Lincoln Mercury inventory in Southwest Florida. The biggest discounts anywhere. Only at the leader, Fort Myers Lincoln Mercury, where you'll get a deal you'll feel good about.
When you renew your license tag this year, you can send your own personal message or one that says, "Support Florida Special Olympics." A message we can all get behind.
Welcome back to the MetLife pregame show. I'm here with Coach Dave Tanner from Barron Collier High School. Coach, this rivalry goes back a long, long time. You two teams have played for the district championship about this time of the year for many years. Is there anything new about it this year?
No, I don't think so, Dave. It's been really a good rivalry, and you know, I can remember playing here for a district championship, playing at our place for a district championship, playing in a tiebreaker with Charlotte, the three teams here. So this field brings back a lot of memories, and it's, you know, it's nice to be here and be able to play, be in this situation. We could be in a lot worse situation than we're not.
Well, next week is a big game, but you have to, before you can get to next week, you have to win tonight. What did North Fort Myers' victory last night do to you or your football team? Were you looking for that last night?
Well, you know, it really didn't matter. You know, they're both good quality football teams, and I think both teams played relatively well. You know, it didn't matter, because if we win tonight, then that assures us that we're going to be in, whether we're the district champs or the runners-up.
I thought last week your offense was a little sluggish in the first half and just came out and lit it on fire in the second half. Were you able to carry that through this week of practice?
Well, we had a real good week of practice, and this has not been a real good practice team. But you know, when you get ready to play Fort Myers, and the kids pick it up a little bit, and it's been a good week, and I think they know that they had a slow start. We've been a quick start team up until about the last 2 weeks, so I think maybe, you know, I'm hoping we'll come back first half.
What are you going to have to do tonight to stop the Fort Myers offense? They've got some really good running backs and a good quarterback in David Travis.
Well, I think what makes the Fort Myers offense so good this year is they're pretty well balanced. You know, before they've had some superstars, and if you could try to stop those superstars, which has been real difficult to do, you could limit them. But now they're so well balanced. They got two real good running backs, and David Travis is a good quarterback, and their receivers. So, you know, we're just going to have to play good, solid football all the way around.
Is your co-captain starting linebacker, Darren McDonald, going to be able to play tonight, Coach?
Yeah, he's playing. You know, it was kind of iffy until Wednesday, but he said he feels good, so we're going to go ahead and play him tonight.
Well, Coach, good luck. I know it'll be a great game. Looking forward to it, and see you later. That was Coach Dave Tanner from Barron Collier High School. Joe Klimas will be back with Coach Sirianni from Fort Myers in a minute.
Being right is not always it. It requires more to present your case in court to a jury of your peers. It requires competent legal counsel, someone who's been trained, someone who has experience in how to present a case. We do care about the people we represent. It instills in us a sense of pride to be able to make a difference in their life, to place them back on their feet financially, to help restore a sense of dignity. It's important to us.
Henry, whatever happened to all those Reds we used to see, all up and down, all the way to Punta Gorda, thousands of them?
Well, Dave, as soon as the Pelicans showed up, they were gone.
Kind of an endangered species now?
Yep, they sure are.
The book of choice in Southwest Florida.
2 o'clock. Okay.
Your employees who serve in the National Guard and Reserve may seem different. They may work a little harder, be more confident, more willing to make the extra effort to get the job done right. So when your employees need time off to serve, remember, it's not just good for our country, it's good for your business.
Glad you could all make it.
Welcome back to the MetLife pregame show here at Edison Stadium on the campus of Fort Myers High School. Joe Klimas, along with the head coach of the Fort Myers Green Wave, Sam Sirianni. Sam, you come into this ball game, you have one district loss. North, a big winner last night, not a big winner, but a winner over Cape Coral anyway, 22-15. You come in tonight against a ball club out of Barron Collier High School. They're unbeaten in the district, a pretty key game for you.
It's a real important ball game for us. You know, we have to win this football game. Or else, you know, mathematically we'll still be in it. But this ball game here is a key football game for us. It can throw everything back into turmoil.
You look at Barron Collier. Now, look at it from a defensive perspective. You have to go against Matt Maloney, who was the #1 passer in Southwest Florida, Rashid Golden, who was the #2 receiver, and then you have the pair of running backs, Clifton Robinson and Menius Miller. Any kind of special deals you got cooked up for them?
Yeah, we put some landmines out there in the middle of the field out there. Hopefully we may be able to catch him. You know, no, you know, you just have to go with your own personnel, and we just kind of felt that what we can do, we have to do, and if it's good enough, then we'll be able to shut it down, and if it's not good enough, hope we can score enough points to beat them. You know, they just got a great football team, both offensively and defensively, and it really puts you in a bind.
We look at your ball club. You have the young junior quarterback, David Travis, who has thrown about 53% or so of his forward passes for completions. And then you have the young man, David Church, who set a school record here for rushing a couple of weeks ago. And so you have nothing to be, you know, timid about.
Well, you know, we came into the season thinking that we were a year away still yet. And, of course, we're right in the thick of things. And our kids have played well in spots, and at other times we kind of just played lackadaisical. You know, we hope that we can rise tonight and get a great effort out of us. If we do, it could be a real interesting game. If we play the lackadaisical game, and then Barron Collier's got a big edge on us.
Any problem, I wouldn't assume, during the week getting the kids up. This is, you know, this one has throughout the years turned into be a big one all the time with district implications.
Well, we didn't have any trouble getting them up. Our kids have been pretty consistent as far as the practice through the week. They're a hard bunch of kids to really know whether you have them ready mentally, you know, their focus. We had a good week this week, and, you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it should be interesting.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking for a good one.
Well, I am too, to be truthful with you.
It should be fun. Coach Sam Sirianni, the Fort Myers Green Wave, thank you for stopping by. And we'll come back with more of the MetLife pregame show from Edison Stadium here in Fort Myers right after this.
Which child deserves to be read to? This one? Or is it this one? Which child will learn to use a toothbrush? Who will have a chance to sing? The choice is yours. Volunteer for Head Start. With your help, more low-income preschool children can get what other children already have. Change the world of a child, and you change the world.
I hear Garth Brooks is in the building today.
Oh, I just got CD at McDonald's.
Scar's favorites.
Much too young and wild. Let one go.
Oh, the white line.
Guy puts on a cowboy hat and suddenly he thinks he's Garth Brooks.
Get Garth's favorites. Each full-length CD is just $5.99. Each cassette $3.99 when you buy any extra value meal or large sandwich. Or get these other hot artists. $1 from each CD and cassette benefits Ronald McDonald Children's Charities.
What you want is what you get.
At First National Bank of Naples, we believe in our customers and our community. From the start, we had a different idea of what banking was all about. Pay attention to the little things, like a cup of coffee and a personal greeting, like open drive-in windows when other banks are closed, like no charges for ATM transactions.
First National Bank is the home of first-class service because we know when it comes to choosing a bank, little things make a big difference.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Edison Stadium here on the campus of Fort Myers High School. Joe Klimas along with Dave Walker. We're ready for a good one. Let's listen to the referee, Bartley Harrow.
Any questions before we have the toss? All right, White gets to call the toss. Which one of you is going to do the calling? You're going to do the calling. All right, call the head. That's the head. Or the tail. While it's in the air, and if I drop, this is the head. It's got a head on it. It's got a player. If I drop it, we'll just repeat it. All right. Okay? Tail. You call the head? Tail. You call the tail. Everybody say tail. It is the head. You won the toss. You may take your choice now or the second half. Go defer. Green won the toss and go defer. You're going to save the ball. Which goal would you like to defend, Green? All right. Put your back here. Turn face them, okay? Green's going to be kicking this way. All right? That was a good ball game, guys.
Well, there you saw the toss of the coin. The Fort Myers Green Wave win the toss as Darren McDonald called tails. It came up heads, and Fort Myers deferred, David. So they're going to kick off to Barron Collier, and we get a look at that potent offense right off the bat.
Gee, I bet that doesn't bother Barron Collier much. They get the football first. I got a feeling if they won the toss, they'd have probably taken that.
One of the things that we happen to notice during that who's going to go which way is Mark Block, the big linebacker out of Fort Myers, a senior, 5'10", 180 pounds. As a matter of fact, he has 85 tackles on the year, David, 37 solo, 48 assists, and 2 sacks. But I noticed he's got that big bandage on that right hand. Looks as though he's got a heck of a problem.
Well, we'll have to see if that affects his play during the game. You know, sometimes it's important when you're making that tackle, you have to wrap up and get a grip on something. It's hard to do if that hand's wrapped up. Mark's a great linebacker. You know, Coach Sirianni's talked about what a great linebacker and how he flies to the football. And I think you'll find him having a great game tonight.
We get a look at Bruno Ramos, the 5'10", 190-pound senior place kicker. And will he kick it deep or will he kick it on the line? He puts it high in the air. It's going to come down to Clifton Robinson. No, it's going to go in the end zone. David, a little bit of a wind blowing from east to west, but basically also a little bit north to south. So it helped that kick by Bruno Ramos.
Well, Bruno's got a strong enough leg, and especially with this wind, that he can get it in the end zone, get it high enough to get his coverage team down underneath it, because you surely don't want to kick to Clifton Robinson and Medius Miller on a low kick and give them a chance to return it.
Talked to Bruno before the ball game, and I said, you know, some schools looking at you. He said, yes, sir, there are several. And I said, which one you kind of like? He said, well, Florida's been kind of hot and heavy, so one can never tell. But with a right leg like that, let's see what happens. All right, here we go. First down and 10 for Barron Collier at their own 20-yard line. That's Mike Johnson out to the far side. Receiver over here, Rashid Golden to the near side. In behind Matt Maloney, the sophomore quarterback. The handoff goes to Clifton Robinson. Robinson tries to get some yardage, comes out knocked down by Tom Daniels, along with number 3, Mark Vlock. So take a look at that right hand of Mark Vlock. Looks like he might have it in a cast, David, but didn't bother him that time.
No, he's a good, as I say, he's a good linebacker. It looks like Fort Myers is going a little bit different defense tonight. They had a 6-man front that time with one linebacker, and that linebacker being Mark. And the idea of that defense is to keep the offensive lineman off and let that linebacker flow to the ball.
And that kickoff, by the way, was brought to you by International College. Now, here we come, second down and 6 for Barron Collier at their own 24-yard line, just underway here at Edison Stadium. 11:25 to go in the first quarter. A pitch back again to Clifton Robinson, looking for some blocks, and he's hit right there. Coming up and turning the play in once again was Thomas Daniels, and Mark Block makes the stop, but a good play that time by Tom Daniels to turn it in.
You can't let him get to the corner. If he gets around that corner and gets into the open field, he is really something to watch. You have to turn it back into your defense.
Here comes the News Press Barron Collier offense. Neil Walker, Ed Henry, Aaron Schimmel, Mike Hussein, Adam Zenchu, and Mark Gonzalez. Matt Maloney is the quarterback. Menius Miller, Clifton Robinson, Mike Johnson, and the second leading receiver in Southwest Florida, Rashid Golden. The number one passer, Matt Maloney, goes up underneath. It's third down, and we'll call it about 4 now for Barron Collier at their own 26-yard line. First third down situation for the Cougars, and it goes right straight ahead to Menius Miller, and Menius at midfield. Can Daniels catch him? That's Tyrone Davis trying to catch him. Menius Miller is going to go all the way. He went all the way, David, from the 26-yard line. 74 yards goes Menius Miller.
That's a little trap play up the middle on 3rd and 5. If you can get that middle linebacker blocked, it's nothing but green grass and white stripes to the end zone, and that's what happened that time. Their formation took the secondary out of the play. Watch it right here. Little trap block in there. Split him right open the middle, and there he goes. No secondary in front of him, and he outruns the people trying to get an angle from the side.
So that puts the Cougars on the scoreboard and puts them there in a hurry.
Coach Dave Tanner talked about how sluggish his offense has been in the first half. I don't think he has to worry about that tonight. I'd say they came out with a bang.
Mark Gonzalez to attempt the conversion. You talk about strong legs, 2 strong legs here, place-kicking-wise in tonight's football game. Gonzalez out of the hole with Johnson, puts it up, and it's good. So with 10 minutes and 29 seconds to go in this first quarter, it's Barron Collier 7, Fort Myers nothing.
Minute and a half, 3 plays, 80 yards. Not a bad opening drive for Barron Collier. Fort Myers is going to have to come back here and regroup. I know they're probably in shock right now. They felt that their defense could slow this Barron Collier team down, and they had the first 2 plays. It looked like they had a good game plan, but when you pull your secondary out of that middle, if you can split it and get by that linebacker, they got a nice block on the linebacker. There's just nobody there.
Interesting, David, in the first third down situation that they have, as you take a look here at the press box, Joe Klimas along with Dave Walker, they don't get a third down conversion on that.
No.
No, there's no first down. He just went 74 yards for the touchdown.
I don't think they'll worry about that third down conversion very much. They'll take those 74-yard touchdowns over those first third down conversions.
All-American Truck Tire, 3950 Mercantile Avenue, where they service all your needs for trucks, vans, campers, batteries, tires, oil changes, everything for your truck, van, or camper. Excellent service, excellent repairs. That's All-American Truck Tire, 3950 Mercantile Avenue. That's across from Federal Express. And here we go now. I tell you what, they kicked that off in a hurry.
Yep, little onside kick there. They tried to get Fort Myers sleeping. It didn't quite work. And, of course, that was an international college kickoff,
yes,
and it wasn't a very long one, but it was definitely a kickoff.
Well, again, they don't want to kick it that deep either, I don't think, to Fort Myers, because don't forget, the last time we did the Green Wave, we saw David Church rush for a school record that time, one that had stood since about the 1950s.
Well, I think another thing was, I'm sure that came in their scouting report, that they saw that they thought they could onside kick right away, try to catch Fort Myers off guard, get the ball back.
Speaking of off guard, Fort Myers comes out right in the shotgun. That's David Travis, the junior quarterback, number 20, takes the snap. He wants to throw. Looking over here on the near side, and he's going to be hit and dropped over there. And that is, let's see who we get up off that pile. That looks like number 34 out there for Barron Collier, Grant Phelan.
Yep, Grant came in, and David couldn't see him, came in from his blind side that time. David was looking downfield. It was good coverage by Barron Collier. He really had time to throw the football. Just the coverage was so good that he had to wait, and then came in from his blind side and got him for a loss.
David Travis comes in tonight, 57% completion rate, 60 out of 104, 659 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So here come the Green Wave. Once again out of the shotgun, trips out to the far side. A slot back and a wide receiver. They got 5 receivers, David, and nobody along with David Travis. He wants to throw, puts it up in and out of the hands of Forrest Walker. He had Walker, but Forrest just couldn't hang on.
He had him in a little curl route coming into the middle. Little curl route about 7-8 yards down the field. Even if he would have caught the ball, Barron Collier's defense is now 7 in pass coverage. They're rushing 4. They've got 7 in pass coverage. It doesn't look like the shotguns caught them off guard. They look like they have a defense set up that should be able to defend this.
Boy, David Tanner snuck one in on me. I'm trying to do the commercial for All-American Truck Tire, and they do the kickoff. Here
Let's
comes
watch
Travis.
this. You see him curl in the middle, and Travis puts it right on the money. That ball should have been caught.
So it'll bring up a third down. And about 30 yards to go here for Fort Myers. Travis tries to put the screen up, and it is under big pressure by Billy Eskridge, intended out there for number 25, Tyrone Davis. Went over Davis' head as he kind of slipped down, so it brings up a punting situation.
Well, that's kind of like that flanker screen where they slide him in, try to slide him behind, and they had the call that they wanted defensively because it was a middle linebacker blitz by Barron Collier, so they took that player out of the coverage. And if he could have made the completion, it was a play that could have gone.
David Travis, 25 punts so far in the season, averaging 36.3 yards per kick. He gets the snap. Gets a high, beautiful spiral, gets it to nose over, and that goes over the head of Mike Johnson. Takes a good roll. Johnson picks it up at about the 9-yard line. He gets away from a couple tackles, but down he goes. Mark Block again drops Johnson at about the 9-yard line. So Barron Collier in a deep hole.
Well, Johnson made a mistake that time. Once that ball got over his head, he should have just let it go. It might have gotten the end zone. It looked his best bet would have been turn around and block the coverage and let that ball get in the end zone. We see it right here. Misjudges it. The wind got that. We know that the wind's blowing behind David Travis. It was a good high punt. And right now, maybe his best bet would have been let that ball roll. He picks it up, and now he's in trouble.
59 yards on the kick by number 20 for Fort Myers. That's David Travis. So here come the Cougars in their second offensive possession of the night. They lead 7-0 with 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Once again, the eye in behind Matt Maloney. Something we haven't seen very much of this year, David. And the handoff goes to Clifton Robinson. Robinson breaks loose on the far side. Gets a couple of big blocks and is dragged down at the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 there. The tackle made by Corey Kelty.
Well, Fort Myers changed their defense that time and went to a 5-man front. The only problem with it is that they overshifted to the tight end, and Barron Collier ran to the weak side, just had them outnumbered. You can see most of the Fort Myers defenders are over here on the right. They run to the left. Menius gets a good lead block up in there. And then when you get Clifton out there in the open field, he's pretty tough to bring down.
Clifton Robinson comes into the ball game, 128 carries for 893 yards. That's a 7-yard average, David, and 9 touchdowns. He ranks number 5 in Southwest Florida. So it's 1st down and 10 for the Cougars at their own 25. Again, it goes to Clifton Robinson. He runs that right side again, and Clifton's got running room. Looking for a big block. Couldn't quite get it. He gets it all the way out to the 44-yard line, however, before he's stopped by Forrest Walker. So Clifton Robinson, after Menius Miller, goes 74 yards. Clifton picks him up in big chunks right here. Take a look at the News Press defense for Fort Myers. Corey Kelty, Tommy Roberts, Mark Stanley, and Nate Farnsworth. Mark Block and Eric Wester, the linebackers. And the backfield, Tyrone Davis, David Colin, Chad Terrell, Forrest Walker, and Willie Tyree. Here come the Cougars. In fact, David, we'll call it the 45-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Barron Collier. 7:44 to go in the opening quarter. It's 7-0. Barron out ahead of Fort Myers here at Edison Stadium. A short handoff this time to Menius Miller. A flag on the play as Menius gets down to the 49-yard line. But it looks as though it may be a hold against Barron Collier.
That was a similar play to what they scored the touchdown on. Barron Collier has kind of changed things up here. They've been going with a one-back offense most of the year. Now, they've had this eye in their repertoire, but they haven't run it very much. They've been mostly a one-back offense with a spread-type formation. They've been pretty consistent now in this game about going to that eye attack with Menius at the fullback and Clifton at the tailback. You're right, looks like a hold call.
We have a hold on the offense. Still be 1st down.
That's our referee, Bartley Harold. The umpire is Bob Spinelli. The line judge, Butch Goebel. The linesman, Greg DeSerio. The back judge is Bill Dasher. And the electric clock operator is Jack Crone. So it moves the Cougars back to the 40-yard line. They did give them the 1st down, so it's 1st down and 15 for Barron Collier. They marked it. And here come the Cougars in motion. That's Rashid Golden going back to the far side. Maloney, his first throw of the night. It's complete to Rashid on the far side. He's knocked out of bounds by Forrest Walker at the 40-yard line. So Matt Walker goes 1 for 1.
Well, that was a
Matt Maloney.
That play was well designed. They put Rashid Golden in motion. Fort Myers was man-to-man, and Rashid turned and went back, and the man coverage couldn't catch up with him. And boy, Matt Maloney puts it right on the money. Rashid does kind of a juggling act over there, but you don't become the second leading receiver in Southwest Florida and drop many balls like that.
He's caught 28, David, for a 22.3-yard average and 2 touchdowns. So here we go. 1st down and 10 for Barron Collier. They lead 7-0. 7:10 to go in the 1st quarter here at Edison Stadium in Fort Myers. Again, it goes to Menius Miller. Miller, the up back, breaks out to the right side. Watch out. Nobody's going to touch him. It's going to be touchdown, Barron Collier, as Menius Miller goes in from 40 yards away. He's touched. Now there comes the flag. Here comes the taunting flag. You watch this, David.
No, I think that it's either taunting, but I think the flag was a late hit. It looked like a Fort Myers player came in and tackled him in the end zone after he had scored. So even though it looked like he may have taunted a little bit going in, I think the call will go against Fort Myers.
Well, wait and see.
We'll see what happens here.
I didn't see the late hit.
Just great blocking by that offensive line of Fort Myers. This little dive play to the fullback. Let's see what was it. Little dive play to the fullback. They loop their guard around, gets that block. Good blocking. Everybody's got a man in their face, and Menius knows what to do with it once he gets in that open field. Now let's see what happens. See, now he's in the end zone. Stop, drop the ball, and here comes a late hit.
All right.
I'm sure that'll go against Fort Myers.
No question about that one. I didn't see that.
We have a dead ball foul on the defense. A personal foul. Yeah, it's the distance on the try.
So now they get the football at about the 1.5-yard line.
I'm surprised. I thought that call could also go on the kickoff. It must be that they have to take it here on the try for point, or maybe Barron Collier elected to.
So Gonzalez now to attempt the conversion out of the hole of Mike Johnson. Barron Collier up 13-0. Gonzalez trying to make it 14. His kick is good. So Barron Collier with 7 minutes and 2 seconds to go, David, in this opening quarter at Edison Stadium in a must-win situation for Fort Myers. And, of course, Barron's got to win to keep pace with North Fort Myers. The Cougars up 14-0.
I'll tell you, Barron is going to their offensive line, back to that big offensive line of theirs, and they've just done a fantastic job here in the first half of the first quarter. You know, they did that in the second half last week. They were a little sluggish in the first half, and they just came out and ran straight ahead football and got behind that big offensive line and scored the first 5 times they had the ball in the second half.
Tanner mentioned coming into tonight's football game, he said we had 400-plus yards or just about that last week in the second half. Where were we in the first half? And we know where they are now. They're up 14-0 over Fort Myers.
And Fort Myers is 3 plays and out. They're going to have to do something offensively here and keep that defense off the field.
David Church, number 5, back deep, along with Tyrone Davis, the freshman, 5'7", 145-pounder, Mark Gonzalez. The last time he came up, as this kickoff being brought to you by International College, he came up with the short kick. Let's see what happens now. Gonzalez with his ball club up 14-0. Kicks it deep. It's going to be fielded by Tyrone. No, Tyrone Davis lets it go. It goes into the end zone. Comes out to the 20. Smart play that time by Davis.
Move. Pretty smart play. That's a tough ball. When that ball hits the ground, starts bouncing around, it can go any place. It's tough to field that ball. Plus, he had to field it down on about the 2 or 3 and probably wouldn't have got a good return. So that is a good smart play.
David Church, who set the all-time Fort Myers single-game rushing record against Estero a couple of weeks ago, averaging 7.6 yards per carry, David. That is per catch. He also rushes for 6.8 yards every time he touches the football.
Well, going to that shotgun in their first series, they took him out of that play. You know, he's not back there, so he didn't have the ability to rush the football. And we'll see. He's back there now in the shotgun. It looks like he's standing right beside David Travis, so maybe they'll have an opportunity to hand him the ball.
So the Green Wave stays in the shotgun. They did that their first offensive series. Travis to throw, looking up over the middle. It's going to be intercepted by Darren McDonald. McDonald, his first game back after missing several with a bad back, is now down at the 20-yard line. He's tackled in there by number 1, Chad Terrell, and that football was right in McDonald's hands.
Well, as I said, Barron Collier with their good defense is allowed to rush the 4 people, and they have 7 people back in coverage. They're playing zone defense. They come back and spread the field, and that time there was no place for David Travis to throw the ball, and he tried to squeeze it in there. It wasn't there. There was no place to throw it, and he tried to squeeze one in there, and Darren McDonald doesn't look like he's having any trouble with his back tonight, does he?
Not at all.
Let's watch a replay now. Look, David's got plenty of time to throw the football. They're doing a good job blocking, but he just tries to squeeze one in there, and you can see there's lots of Barron Collier people around that football. Not a good decision.
So the Cougars up 14-0 with 6:35 to go in the first quarter. Have it at the 19-yard line of the Fort Myers Green Wave. Once again, the eye in behind Maloney. Maloney rolls out to his right. He wants to throw. He's looking down deep in the end zone. The defender falls down, and can you believe Mike Johnson? He took his eyes off the football. He had it right in his hands. Mike Johnson, who has caught 5 touchdown passes coming into this football game, had number 6. But David, he forgot that one thing.
Well, that's the problem. He was sure he had number 6 and didn't look the ball all the way into the squeeze. I mean, when that ball comes in, you got to look it all the way in until you get it squeezed. It was too easy. He saw the defender. That was Tyrone Davis fall down going out that way. And he thought, well, I'm all alone. The ball's right on the money, and just didn't squeeze it. This little bootleg action. Matt Maloney comes out clean here. Watch him deliver this football. What a great ball. Throwing just perfect. And, oh, boy, right, he's going to wish he had that one back. Think Coach Tanner will run that back next Monday?
Fort Myers calls timeout. 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the opening quarter here at Edison Stadium. It is Barron Collier 14, Fort Myers nothing. We'll come back with more exciting football on Colony Channel 10 Sports right after this.
Henry, whatever happened to all those Reds we used to see all up and down all the way to Punta Gorda, thousands of them?
Well, Dave, as soon as the pelicans showed up, they were gone.
Kind of an endangered species now?
Yep, they sure are.
The book of choice in Southwest Florida.
For more than a quarter of a century, the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation has been serving the community, preserving natural resources and wildlife habitat. Walk our trails, attend educational programs, stop by our nature center and our native plant nursery. Learn more about the good nature of the islands by visiting us at the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation. We're located 1 mile west of Tarpon Bay Road.
Hi, I'm Ken Maturi. My friend Christopher here is a member of the Patch Club. He has strabismus and is patching to help correct his vision. Strabismus is a visual defect preventing normal vision. Early detection and therapy gives children like Christopher every opportunity to learn to see correctly. The Strabismus Foundation encourages you to have your child's eyes tested early. Early detection can mean a lifetime of good sight.
For more information, contact the Strabismus Foundation.
It's a lot easier to drop that football when you're up 14.
Yep. Well, David and I are just commiserating over here, and we're talking about that. And, of course, David, in your career at Ohio Northern, you never dropped any like that.
Not any. No. Not when they were throwing right in my hands like that. Of course, I was never fast enough to get out there so they could throw in my hands like that, so I never had that opportunity. But I was just saying, you know, when you're up 14 points at drop ball like that, you've got good field position. That doesn't mean near as much as if the score is tied and it's a tight football game. Sometimes that concentration wanes a little bit when you've scored so easy on your first two possessions.
But in a big ball game like this, every point is going to count. 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's 14-0. Barron Collier out ahead of the Fort Myers Green Wave. The Cougars have it at the Green Wave 19-yard line. Second down and 10. Two receivers out to the far side this time now for the Cougars. That's Kevin Parise along with Mike Johnson. The eye in behind Matt Maloney. Maloney gives it, yes, he does give it off to Menius Miller. Miller breaks the tackle, and it's touchdown number 3 for Menius Miller from 19 yards out, and Menius is making it look easy.
This is almost too easy. This is almost too easy. Right up the middle again, very similar to the first touchdown run he had. He got through there, only had to break one tackle. That doesn't seem to be a problem. Let's watch against the replay here. Get a good blocking in there. They get a hat on everybody. Comes through clean, breaks 2 tackles right there, and just sprints into the end zone. Fort Myers isn't getting real good shots at him when they're getting their hits. They're not making those good, strong hits that we expect out of this Fort Myers defense.
Gonzalez in to attempt the conversion. Out of the hole of Mike Johnson. His kick is blocked. Does it have enough to get over? Yes, it does. Somebody got a hand on it, but Gonzalez had enough to get it over. David, when things are going your way, they're going your way.
They're going your way, that's right. That thing was blocked. It looked like it had no chance and just spun right over the crossbar for another point.
That makes it 21-0 in favor of Barron Collier. Miller, can you believe this, has carried the football 3 times, has scored every time he touched the football. Menius Miller so far tonight on those 3 carries, 134 yards, 3 touchdowns.
That's not a bad average. Let's see, if we were picking the player of the game, who would we pick tonight so far?
Well, we had Menius last time. Yeah. I don't know. We seldom give it 2 times in a row, but
well, let's see. He could at least be the player of the game for the first half of the first quarter, I would say.
Boy, oh boy, can you imagine that?
I'll tell you, nobody expected this to happen here in the first quarter. I mean, nobody expected this to happen in the entire game for Barron to come out and dominate as much as they've dominated. This has got to put Fort Myers back on their heels.
6 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the opening quarter, folks. It is 21-0. Barron Collier out ahead of Fort Myers. This kickoff being brought to you by International College. Mark Gonzalez puts it up high. It's going to come down to David Church at the 5-yard line. That's Tyrone Davis. Tyrone Davis has it. He crosses the 20, gets out to the 20. That time they flip-flop. Before they had Davis on the near side and Church on the far side. This time they went just the other way around.
Well, they got the kick who they want, because I know they want Barron Collier doesn't want David Church handling the football. I don't know if they're looking that up or not, but they kicked the ball where they wanted it both times.
The News Press Fort Myers offense: Nate Farnsworth, Jeremy March, Jeremy Harden, Justin Anderson, Brad Whitlock, and Eric Folk. David Travis, David Church, Chad Terrell, Tyrone Davis, and Forrest Walker in a penalty called against the Green Wave.
You know, as you said, when things are going well, they continue to go well. I guess on the other side of that coin, when things are going bad for you, sometimes they just continue. We had a clip on Fort Myers that time, and that'll bring it back to the 10-yard line. It was before the play ended, so it will be 1st and 10, not 1st and 20.
First down and 10 for the Green Wave. They bring trips over here to the near side. And now David Travis, after being in the gun the first couple of possessions, goes up underneath. He's got David Church in behind him. The Green Wave trailing 21-0. The pitch back comes to David Church, and David Church gets a couple blocks, gets around the far side, breaks a couple tackles, and is hit out of bounds over here on the near side. That was Phil Wolf coming up to put the stick. The Fort Myers fans say they want a penalty because he hit him out of bounds, but they're not going to get one.
Well, the first Barron Collier defender to get a stick on David Church was Clifton Robinson. It was 5 against 5, and David won that battle. Gave him a hip and took it away, and Clifton was down there smelling the grass as David went by.
Now he knows what it feels like.
Yeah, let's watch on the replay. Now he knows what all those other defenders have felt like. Let's see if we can see it right here. Gets around the corner. Here he comes up. Going to get this stick right here. Whoops, where'd he go? And then David gets by him. But Clifton's done that a few times on the other side of that ball.
2nd down and 6 for the Fort Myers Green Wave from their own 14-yard line. David Travis, the sophomore junior quarterback, gives it off to David Church, and Church gets the first down as he gets out to the 22-yard line. The stop made that time by Clifton Robinson along with number 44 Darren McDonald.
Nice little trap play up the middle, and David Church, we know if we've seen him before, he just does an excellent job running the football. 3 really fine running backs here tonight. 2 for Barron Collier with Menius Miller and Clifton Robinson and David Church. You won't find 3 running backs in many high school football games as good as these 3.
Robinson averaging 7.0 yards every time he touches it. David Church 6.8. So here come the Green Wave. 1st down and 10. Again, it goes this time to Chad Terrell. And Terrell stacked up right there at the line of scrimmage. Can't get much yardage at all. Good defense that time. Number 40 leading the defensive charge for Barron Collier, Matt Distel.
You see Barron Collier does a real fine job with their defense about moving to the football.
We're looking at Sam Sirianni Jr., the offensive coordinator over here. He's so big he's blocking his dad out of the picture. But Sam Jr.,
well, Sam's got a headache right now. He's got to find some way to move the football against this Barron Collier defense.
2nd down and 9 for Fort Myers. They trail 21-0 with 4:45 to go in the first quarter here at Edison Stadium. David Travis wants to throw. Looks here on the far near side, puts it up in the air, intended for Willie Tyree. And Tyree had it slip right through his hands, defending on the play, Ben Gibo.
Well, that play was really well developed. Tyree was in the slot that time. They ran their wide receiver off and pulled him out in the flat and got him the ball just